Hi.
Hi Jay, happy to see you. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Thank you, kind of fine, likewise.
Good.
And so, like, shifting focus to our topic when it comes to our discussion, I was
Sure.
wondering what kind of like pivotal aspects have you highlighted for our conversation, like to get to, I mean, like about AI. I have seen that you're also like an expert and you have like amazing experience when it comes to directing movies, being producer of movies. So, as for you, in just like what kind of like moments we shall start with?
I'm open. I'm open, really. I just I think, as I mentioned, I mean, I like to kind of connect with the people I'm connected with.
Mm-hmm.
So, excuse me. I'm open to whatever's on your mind, and always looking for ways to be helpful to each other. And so, yeah, I've no specific agenda. It's more of like getting to know who you are and what you're doing, and if there's ways we can be helpful to each other, great. And if not today, then maybe somewhere down the road. It's at least good to know. So yeah, that's really it. No more, no less for me.
That's amazing. Thank you, Jay. I was just like wondering maybe you have seen it already or not. Recently on my LinkedIn, I updated that I have been elected as a president of the Global AI Center. And currently, so here, like as a president, and at the same time as a person who curates all the events, we are just like hosting particular meetings. We are collaborating with lots of scientists, with directors. We collaborate all together this day. So like we are, let's say, putting all the focal points currently, and in September we're going like to gain more and more momentum when it comes to our global AI center. Exactly what we're going to specialize at is the artificial intelligence, different strategies in different particular legal spheres, as well as like all the spheres, talking about the regulation, ethical use of AI, human-centric approach. I have also seen that, if I'm not mistaken, you have been involved in this technological sphere when it comes to this sports implement customizing system. I mean, there is some particular data that is being analyzed, right?
Yes. So if you can explain a little bit. So I mean, you're based in Ukraine. I know your profile says you're in New York. You're based in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Are you traveling at all, or are you basically just stuck or staying in Ukraine because
Uh,
of the war and everything else?
no, I'm just like I'm just a native when it comes to Ukraine, and I live there currently. I have established New York for my LinkedIn. Maybe there was particular misunderstanding due to the fact that all my content, all my research, academic research, my publications, they exactly evolve and like they revolve around English language and our English speaking communities when it comes to like English as a global language there, and that's why I have
Sure.
taken New York. And at the same time, United
Got it.
Nations, I have taken a few of my speeches there, so like I have been given the floor, and that's the reason why, because most people I know there from academic community, they exactly are from the US and all the speaking countries and English.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. No. Fair enough. Um. So as far as your current work, like what exactly are you looking to do? I mean, you're working obviously in AI and all that. Like, what does that mean for you? Like on the regulation side, on the development side, on the like, where are you seeing this? And
We are exactly focusing on the regulation. Exactly. Also, have started like being a international human rights defender on AI, and there I have like hundreds of just like particular meetings, also dozens of publications pertaining to AI and its regulation. I'm also the author of the AI Constitution that I presented in January this year to the permanent mission of the Republic of Zambia, and then I addressed it to the Secretary General of the United Nations. And so that's like the first AI constitution when it comes to the regulation that is global, and it can be particularly applicable to all the countries registered in the US Copyright Office. And here, currently, I just like this year exactly, I have gotten to this global stage talking about the regulation that can be adaptable and work with many experts in this kind of sphere, and at the same time in other sphere I work with artists when it comes to copyright. We just like hold particular talks pertaining to the regulation of AI generated art, how it can put into jeopardy artists who are more conventional when it comes just like to offline sphere, not only virtual reality. So like the scope of interest, let's say, as for me as a scientist, is kind of like broad, because when it comes to art, it touches upon cinematic industry, music, art when it comes to just like some visual paintings and so on. So it's just like pretty broad here. But generally, I'm a lawyer, also economist there. And here I just like hold my interest pertaining to regulation. That's one of the focal points.
Wow. Okay, that's impressive. Interesting. And so the organization, like, how do you generate revenue? Like, how does that work for you,
Oh,
like, as a person?
when it comes to this one, in most cases, just the donations in with the organization.
But you make your living as a lawyer?
Yeah, actually, as a lawyer, right? Because I also just like work and cooperate with some particular law firms in my city as well. And so here, just generally as a lawyer, yeah, but more as a consultant, because I'm going to enter to my master's degree this year, actually, in law and international economics. And yeah, so that's it.
Very impressive. I mean, I'll
Thank
tell you,
you.
it's very, very impressive credentials and very impressive what you're working on. I mean, I'm not sure how I can be helpful to you or what I can do to be helpful to you in some capacity, but I mean, for me, I mean, I'm in the entertainment world. I mean, I'm a production marketing and tech company, and I'm an advisor to different companies. I was just on earlier with the tech company that we're work with in Poland, and an advisor to them, and their tech team advises us on the work that we're developing. So um, and through them, there's a lot of different things that come to them. They do sports tech, they do med tech, they do vision learning, they do all different sort of things, and AI, deep tech, blockchain. They're pretty. I mean, they're narrow, but their skill set's pretty broad. So that's kind of the world. We're developing a platform for the entertainment industry. That's a very big undertaking. So we're raising for that, so that we can pay everybody, so we can build it and execute and bring it out to the world. So I'm obviously in this world. I mean, AI is obviously a big deal right now. I mean, I think AI is going to be around obviously forever, but where the regulations land and what people do and how people understand it, and it's not going to take over the world in this negative way I think that everybody's so petrified about. I still think we have to have guardrails, and we have to be smart. We have to, but to have too much fear over something, it limits your ability to work with it. That's not healthy. So other people will adapt, and those who refuse to adapt will unfortunately get pushed to the side. That's history proves that, over and over and over again.
Unequivocally.
So
And so like what you're talking about right now is exactly this fourth industrial revolution that hasn't been like recognized officially these days by many historians, but like what we're exactly talking about. The only thing that the character of this revolution is more destructive in terms of the fact that unfortunately due this kind of like adaptability, it sometimes works, but at the same time it doesn't, because this kind of like spheres that can be automated these days already touch upon the subject of creative thinking and critical thinking. And as previously people were talking about the idea that creativity is only something like the privilege of people, these days we see that like when it comes to art, really often art is a correlation, some particular mosaics of what we have seen, of our experiences and so on, and AI is also learning. So the idea is that like many people are petrified that our reality may be a resemblance of this Terminator movie or something like that. But unfortunately, so like even in this kind of exaggeration, there is some particular truth. It's exactly lies in the idea that if we don't have the guidelines, all the professions primarily can be automated. So like, yeah, we have the ones that are created, but when it comes to the novel creative professions, the proportion of these created professions is unfortunately derisively low in terms of like the mass layoffs that may be, and they are already happening without the
yeah,
guidelines.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those conversations you could have for 10 weeks
Yeah.
straight without stopping, right? Because, the reality is, as humans, we have a certain responsibility to grow, not to take, but to grow. Like it's our responsibility as humans to learn something every day, to be a productive person, creature in society. Unfortunately, most people don't do that. So they don't learn new skills. They don't learn to get better at whatever job they have. They don't learn to get better in the relationship that they have, let's say with the partner, whatever, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. So things break apart. Like that's just human nature. So when something like AI comes into play, you can say AI now, but you can say computers, 30 years ago, anything. When a new technology comes in, those who are not learning new skills, they can say, oh, well, I had this job, but that job's about to be obsolete because they've come up with a better way to do it. But I have a skill and I can put that skill here and everything is fine. So there's maybe a loss of a job here, but there's a creation of a job there. When people just say they're taking away my job, we have to stop this technology. Well, now you're becoming a burden to society as opposed to an asset to society. So that's not going to work. And the technology is proven as it gets faster and faster is that you can't stop it. Like there's certain things that could be slowed down many, many, many years ago. They can't be slowed down anymore because they move at a pace that's beyond comprehension to a certain extent. And I just saw something the other day, which I didn't know this, but it makes sense, that when electricity came out, and became a public thing, only 10% of the population was allowing it into their homes because they were scared that it was the devil and it was something bad was going to happen, right? So you and I can sit here laughing as we're using electricity right now just to be able to speak to each other clearly across the world. You in a war zone, me in a New York, different kind of war zone. So this would not be possible without electricity. Like you and I wouldn't ever meet if it wouldn't be because of electricity or because of technology. So you have to kind of think of these things in that sort of way. And I always find it interesting, or not always, particularly now, you did it too, and you're not the first person to use the Terminator example, right? Which I understand, right? It's totally get it. We use the Terminator example as the fear of AI, right? So that's logical, right? We saw this movie, it was a big movie, it was a big thing. Machines are gonna take over the world. Okay. Interesting that nobody used the movie Contagion to be prepared for COVID, which the movie Contagion was COVID. It wasn't called COVID, but it was exactly COVID, exactly the way it went down, an unknown disease coming from Asia. You get sick right away, you get lethargic, you get all these things, you lose your senses, you die. It's exactly what happened with COVID. Exactly. The script was written, the film was made, it had A-list actors in it, it was very successful, and nothing. Nobody said, you know what, maybe there's truth to this, maybe this could happen, and then COVID wouldn't have happened. So it's interesting as a student of humans, what makes the mind get upset and what makes the mind not pay attention and what makes the mind happy. And clearly a disease that could wipe out the entire planet was not a concern, but a machine that could wipe out the whole planet, petrifying. Like I find that hilarious, actually, when you think about it. It just shows the beauty and the insanity of mankind at the same time. So if there's a website or any sort of literature or anything you want me to look at, I'm happy to take a look. If there's something you feel that I can be helpful specifically, I'm happy to do that. If you feel you have something that you want to bring to the table for me that's helpful, I'm happy to see that. I'm not asking you for anything. I'm asking you to stay safe. I'm asking you to stay safe and stay alive so that you can come to New York at some point, or maybe I can go to Ukraine at some point, although not right now, unfortunately. But
of course.
Yeah, I have no plans in the immediate future. But my good friends and teammate are in Poland, which is not
Mm.
very far from this situation, and they're certainly quite nervous on unfortunate, reality. So, um, but anyway, I'm happy to kind of explore and see if there's something you think, or if you just want to reach out, or you want to pick my brain every once in a while. I'm happy to do that. You can message me. You can contact me on WhatsApp too. I don't know what you use there. I don't know, what do you use in Ukraine?
We use
You guys
Telegram,
Telegram?
WhatsApp, Viber, everything.
But like mainly it's Telegram.
Just like I prefer Telegram sometimes and WhatsApp in most cases. Some people also prefer Viber, but I rarely use it.
I don't use Viber. I don't know why I don't use Viber. I don't know have anybody I know use Viber here. Signal. Some people use Signal here.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know anybody. I personally I don't know anybody that uses Viber.
So probably
But I use
WhatsApp and
WhatsApp. I use
Telegram.
Telegram and I use WhatsApp. I used to use Telegram a lot more. I use WhatsApp more now, I guess.
Mm.
But yeah, I have both, so I'm happy to connect on both. Whatever's easy for you. I know, depending on where you live in the world, there's certain things that people prefer for obvious reasons, and I totally get it. Although very bizarre that they arrested the founder of Telegram the other day. You heard this, right? Yeah.
Currently it's just like all on the news, kind of like buzzworthy ones. And Jay, talking about just like our, for example, maybe like collaborations and future like potential projects, could you please specify when it comes to exactly like to your area of expertise? Because like I got it that you have like experience in the tech company and at the same time I guess like art industry. I mean, like in the background you have like these beautiful paintings. I have seen that you also like were a producer. I got in one of your interviews that I studied that you also told that your daughter Mimi, she's like a prominent writer, and she like wrote, she's like a writer and author. So as I got it, you have like a very artistic family.
You did a little research on me, yeah. So my daughter is an aspiring writer, which basically means that she still has to make a living until she's a professional writer. So hopefully one day that will happen for her. I certainly hope so. Um, yeah, my background is in sports and entertainment. That those are my main
Mm.
areas. And then tech and marketing have been part of my worlds in everything that I've done. So I've developed, I'm not a coder myself, but I've helped develop technologies and I've helped build things.
Mm.
And then I work with people in the tech space to physically do the building. I don't personally do the building. I'm a producer, I'm not a director, I'm a producer. So films and but I, videos and events and branded content. Like I produce. So a producer basically just orchestrates, organizes, sees the opportunity, kind of helps guide the ship, basically. So that's basically what I do. And as I said, we're developing. We see a lot of issues in the entertainment industry, and we figured out a model that will fix it globally, which no one has done, and no one has done it, and no one is doing it. So we're going to do it, but we have to raise the money to get there, which is part of the process. So that's where I'm at. So there is the platform is tech agnostic by design because I don't jump on trends and whatever.
Mm.
We have to use technology to solve whatever issue we're solving and build whatever we're building. So I don't care. I'm going to use whatever is best. If something new comes, we'll use that if it works. And if something existing it works and it's 100 years old but it works, we'll use that. I don't really care. So there's no question there's an AI component to it just by design because there's so much data that's going to have to be
That's
analyzed. And
magnificent.
there's
So
all
you're
sorts
like,
of matching algorithms and all this sort of stuff that we have to develop. So
mm,
there's an AI component for sure. And again, I believe, yes, I can see the AI for bad, but I really think AI is a good thing, really. And I think it's going to be incredibly helpful, way more helpful than it is going to be bad. I think we have to be careful. We have to be smart about it. But I think some of the the doomsday sayers, I think it's overdone. I think it's very
when it comes to AI, the most important thing is just like in what kind of hands it's going to fall into. And at the same time, so like the idea, it's like an instrument. And unfortunately, like just that's maybe like one of the reasons due to the fact that the people don't understand what it is per se, so the nature, they have this kind of like petrifying feeling. But the idea is that here also lies in jobs as what we're talking about. we just like need some particular proportion of what can be automated and what cannot. And talking about this kind of like model that you're just like elaborating these days, so like this platform, as I got it, so like you're developing it, it's being in testing, but it covers the media industry.
So it's in the entertainment industry.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to launch on the film and TV space initially, and then it'll expand on to the other areas of entertainment, so music, video games, graphic novels, books, all forms of entertainment. Once we get
That's
past this
amazing.
first part, the first part is going to be focused on film and TV, primarily because it's where my main day-to-day work has been, and also it's the easiest one to show really on a broad scale how it works. The other pieces of the puzzle naturally will fall within that, and it would be trickier if we went with a different one and then did the film. So that there's a lot of thought that went into why launch in film and TV. So I'm going to give you just a quick 2 seconds. Basically, we've come up with this model that will take projects from concepts to distribution all on one platform, engaging creatives, fans, and investors. So it's part global community, part ecosystem, part marketplace for anything and everything within the entertainment world. So if you're a fan, anything you would imagine, anything you want to see, learn about, engage with actors, with studios, with other fans, anywhere in the world, in your local neighborhood, within a genre that you like, somewhere quick, you'll have this one place. You'll have all the information that you crave as a fan. If you're in the industry and you're just in the industry and you want to participate and you want to get work or you want to be part of things, whatever, you can be there, you can learn, you can network with your own community, you can network with people all over the world, you can get jobs, you can learn, you can take webinars, you can go to events, all that sort of stuff if you're just an active participant. If you have a physical project that you want to get made, there's a system in place that you can take the project that will all the way through and stay on the platform the whole time. So the ultimate use case will be that you will basically stay on this platform all day. Like you won't have to go, oh, I've got to go here to find a job, and oh, I've got to go here to learn about what's new in the industry. Oh, I have to go here to find the investor, and oh, I have to go here. No, you're here, and everything stays in this one place. So everything kind of comes to you, as opposed to you having to go out and look for it, which loses time, loses money, loses energy, and it brings down the level of creativity. It's a negative thing. And there's a lot of gatekeepers and bias and all this other shit that happens. But when you bring it together, just a community mentality, even though everybody's not going to work together, everybody's going to be so happy. It's not going to be that way. It's still going to be competition. There's still going to be all stuff. But the process is easier. So your stress level is more on making your project the best as opposed to how the hell am I going to do this? And what we learned is that the reality is, and I've known this myself, but we proved this, that it's not just if you're new to the industry. If you're a studio, you have the same problem. If you're an Academy Award winner, you have the same problem. If you're a first-time filmmaker or a 10th-time filmmaker, we all run into these problems. And somewhere along the way, we run into these problems. So this is a way to kind of basically solve that for everybody. Now, I say that and it sounds amazing and it's wonderful and it sounds pretty easy, but it's a very big project to do. So we have to really, it isn't something we can just do simple, quick, and easy, and everybody's get it, and we're going to make billions of dollars. Like, it's a lot of work.
It's sophisticated, yeah.
Therefore, we need money to build it, because if we don't build it, nobody's going to understand it. You maybe have an idea now that I've told you because you understand technology and you're smart and you're cool, whatever. But not everybody is going to understand it, right? And they're going to be like, that's cool, but they're not going to do anything. They're not going to engage. So we have to build, that first layer that shows the whole thing. And that's just it's a unique thing in a tech product, because usually you just build an MVP or you build one piece and people get it. And people won't get it if we just build the one piece. We have to show, at the very least, even if it's not fully done, we have to show everything that I told you. Because otherwise, it doesn't have any value.
Yeah, but Jay, like truly, I'm fascinated. It just like sounds amazing. I mean, it sounds like a miracle. And so the idea how masterfully you want to unite all the stakeholders when it comes to this creative industry, because like I know how challenging it is due to the fact that as a neural melody sculptor these days, I like produce my music and I create my music pieces that have like the potential to get into movies, and I know that the idea is that it's just like such a like sophisticated step-by-step process that you really have to devote all your free time to the idea of like promoting one song, like not even like talking about the idea that we don't have guarantee that it will get to the person, and the person who may be really a multi-stakeholder, who may be like an interested party, they may just like even take a look. So like we don't have a guarantee that they are going like to get it through some particular agents who are going like to advertise or something. And the ideas that you also mentioned about the movies, because I have my own experience as just like writing when it comes to like scripts and synopsis for movies, and I have my ideas that I want to like copyright in the long term. But the idea that when I have taken a look exactly at the idea of this kind of like process of getting your movies to Hollywood, that's a whole new ball
that's
game.
the whole purpose, right? Like you may be the next Steven Spielberg, but nobody's going to know that because you already have all these blocks that are put in front of you, and that's ridiculous.
Right.
So the studios are looking for someone like you, whether it's your music or whether it's your script. So that's kind of the point, is that we want to make this easier. And the reality is the people that are impossible to get to are looking for the people that are trying to get to them. So we're looking to get rid of all the bullshit in between and make that connection happen without the stress and without the drama. And then beautiful things happen. I mean, the ultimate underlying thesis or vision of the platform is to basically have a global impact through storytelling. Like that's our goal. Like we're trying to help people. It's going to make a shit ton of money. I don't discount that. Okay, there's no question. It's going to make a shit ton of money. Like that's for sure, and that's great. I don't care. I don't care. I mean, yes, I could use the money, but I don't care. The reality is we can help people all around the world. We can get great stories to be told. We can create opportunities. That's just a beautiful thing. And this is something that can do that across all people can benefit from this. You know, you can be a doctor, you can benefit from this because you work all day and you want to go home and watch a good movie, and you don't have to figure out how am I going to find what's cool or what's new or what's going to make my wife or my girlfriend happy. You don't have to think about it anymore. You can come to this place and
yeah, and Jay, just like pardon, I just wanted to say that I guess it just like fully correlates the idea, the core of your project directly correlates with your production company, because if I'm not mistaken, this kind of like title of the company, like Effluence, right? Just like I pronounce it correctly. So it exactly symbolizes this kind of like kindness and just like ingenious nature of people who are not like producing some quixotic ideas, but the ideals that can be implemented. So they have the potential to really help people. I'm sorry, I just like have also to go to one of the meetings right now, but as I see, so I would just like really, if you have the opportunity in the long term, I would really like to stay tuned with these media platforms that you are creating these days, because like as a scientist, I see that it's a pioneering project, and there is something particular. Just like I'm interested in this kind of like core when it comes to AI, but at the same time, as an artist, I'm interested in the idea that you are given this potential and opportunities for people.
I really appreciate it. It's very, very kind of you. As I said, please stay in touch. Please send me your info. We can connect on Telegram. You can reach me anytime, and we can have another call whenever works for you. And yeah, I would love that. You seem very cool, very smart, and I appreciate the connection. So you stay safe. Okay.
Likewise, yeah. Just like I also want to say, just like to you, to stay safe there. So like in New York is just like it's a city that never sleeps, probably when it comes to this one in the US. And I was really happy to connect with like-minded people, and at the same time that's amazing when it comes to your core expertises, because they're so multilateral, and at the same time just like I just like see how passionate you are about it. So that's truly inspiring. Thank you a lot.
Thank you.
So then we'll catch up, I guess, also on LinkedIn and then Telegram probably.
Sounds good.
So
all
bye.
Right.
Just stay
Take
safe.
care. Have a great day. You
Bye.
too. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.